There was no single moment where the Assyrian Genocide ended. With thousands deported and the provinces of Diyarbakir and Van almost completely purged of Assyrians, the genocide was mostly complete by late 1915. Those who hadn't been killed or deported had fled, or were among the tiny few able to resist the Ottomans in their fortified villages. Assyrians were still being killed after 1915. Morshimun himself was killed by an assassin in 1918, only a few months before the collapse of the Ottoman government. However, most of the genocide's victims had been claimed. Only with the end of the First World War and the fall of Talat Pasha's government could Assyrians begin to reflect on everything they had endured. As with all genocides, the exact death toll is debatable. In Diyarbakir, as many as 200,000 Christians died, of which at least 60,000 were Assyrian. There had been 100,000 Assyrians in the Hakkari Mountains and the surrounding area, but even with Morshimun's escapees, little more than 1/3 of the population was accounted for after the war. At the Paris Peace Conference in 1919, Assyrian representatives estimated 250,000 dead overall, amounting to about half of the known pre-war Assyrian population. Modern scholarship pushes this number closer to 300,000. The only thing as rare as certainty for a genocide is accountability. Talat Pasha and his government escaped responsibility, and only a handful of people ever faced charges, let alone conviction. One person who was charged was Mehmed Reshid, who was arrested immediately after the Ottoman surrender, but he escaped from prison in January 1919 and took his own life before the government could recapture him. For Assyrians today, the Saifo is the height of the historic persecution. Many of the areas depopulated by the genocide are still empty of Assyrians today. But although Assyrians around the world continue to push for recognition of the atrocities committed against them, Turkey insists that its predecessors did nothing wrong. In 2023, President Erdogan said the Saifo lacks legal and historical basis, and proudly asserted that Turkey does not need to take history lessons from anyone.